what are the elements of understanding? There are 3 elements to understanding anything or anybody. Number 1, you have to know how to communicate. You have to communicate with each other. If this person is not easy to communicate with, or you cannot express yourself openly and respectfully with this person, they're very defensive or they're very offensive, you got issues. Because communication is getting the attention of somebody, having the intention to communicate something openly, respectfully, and clearly. So you're sending a message, they have to acknowledge the message. They have to say, okay, I got it. They have to acknowledge it. And if they reply, great, then you pay attention as well and acknowledge it. Now you have a cycle of communication. And number 2, once you communicate, you have to have what's called agreement on reality. You can't say we're losing money and the person tells you, but we have great revenue. Yes, but we're bringing nothing to the bottom line. Yeah, but we have great revenue. Wait a minute, we're not talking about the same thing. We have no agreement on reality. We cannot continue. We're going to collapse. We're going to go bankrupt. So you have to first have the communication. You have to have agreement on reality, and you have some affinity. Affinity is I like you, you like me. We can tolerate each other's distance. We can actually sit down and talk about this and make it happen. So once you have that understanding, the number 4 is the S for trust, is the safety factor. Do you have everything in writing? Write it down. Love your friends moderately and hate your enemies moderately, because your friends can become your enemies one day and your enemies can become your friends one day. So if it's not in writing, they can say, I didn't realize, I wasn't aware, I didn't understand. So now, for the safety factor of the relationship and the continuity of it, have things in writing. Why do they, even when people get married, let's just talk about personal stuff, why do they have to have a witness? Why do they have to have the church or the whatever, and whatever location, they have a witness to say, hey, I was there, it's true, they got married, we have pictures, we have proof. So you have to have something in writing. The safety shows that they are consistent, that they're predictable. And believe it or not, one of the most important safety factor is that you can change your minds and accept some flexibility, because nothing is more dangerous than the person who cannot change his or her mind. It's very important to be able to have a flexibility of the mind. He who can change his mind is stuck, because you need to have flexibility. Imagine if you cannot change your mind. Somebody dies in your family, your mind gets stuck, and now you can't move forward. Something bad happens to you and you can't change your mind to, this doesn't work, and you want to try something else, but you can't change your mind, you can't change your focus. So you have to have safety in knowing that this person is consistent, is predictable, they want things in writing, they're going to be flexible to change some things, they're going to change their mind to change the market, change the product, adjust things as a business partner. And finally, the last T for the trust is what I call the tone of emotion. People have certain tone of emotion. You can identify it based on how they talk, their voice intonation, etc. The highest level is serenity. Somebody's calm, serene, productive, interested in life, enthusiastic. Maybe below that is somebody who's a bit reserved and very conservative. Below that is somebody who gets a little angry about things right away. Maybe below that is somebody covert about their hostility. Below that is somebody who's sad, kind of just like everything is sad for them. Below that is somebody who's scared. They're scared of everything. Everything is phobia for them. And then below that is somebody who's depressed. And the lowest level of the tone of emotions is apathetic. Do not confuse serenity, the calm person, with apathetic, the person who is just not caring about anything. Okay? So you need to understand, because if you're dealing with an angry person, whatever you present to them is going to make them upset. If you're dealing with a sad person, whatever you bring to them makes them sad. So you need to kind of get to their tone of emotion to communicate with them, then bump them up. But if you're an enthusiastic person and he is a kind of a reserved and maybe even lower, like a sad person, it's gonna exhaust you trying to raise his tone of emotion. You're gonna say, I don't need this. He's draining me out. And when you are drained, you will know you're drained because you need that time alone to sit with your dogs or with your cat, or sit alone. I need to meditate. You wake up tired. Your best time of the day is when you go to sleep. You don't need that. Understand. And if it does not work, You need to sit down still and find a way to end amicably, because I can't even tell you how many friendships or partnerships end up in lawsuits. I had one of my project managers who I thought was a great friend, and I thought I was a good judge of character, but money changed him. He made a lot of money, changed, and I started noticing, because I spent time and I could compare how he was before to how he became. And then the solution was no other than a lawsuit that dragged for 3 years with an actual jury. The actual lawsuit lasted 21 days, and on the 22nd day, I obliterated the guy for over $1 million in settlement that he had to pay. Plus he had to pay some taxes, plus he had to pay his attorney $700,000. So he lost most of his net worth, but he learned a lesson. And I told him, I said, let's settle, I'm gonna work it out and we can move on. He said, no. I said, if I sue, I will never settle. I just want you to know, because that last lesson from me is gonna be demonstrated, not just taught. I'm proud of it, but I'm not proud of actually suing a friend or somebody I thought was a friend. And when you sue a friend, you don't have to flatten them. You just push them as far back as needed and then walk away. Now, with that said, I'm gonna recap it by review the elements of the trust and put it all in writing, and keep a certain distance from the person to be able to reassess without getting inside the problem too much. Kind of think of it as if you're advising a friend of yours who is in that situation. And if there are any things that you have not discussed in that meeting with him, rest assured the small issues become big problems later on in life. Whether personal or business, address everything, put it all on the table. Start positive, mention your concerns, and then end with a commitment and some wrap up of a positive way. Take the negativities and say we can turn it around and give it a chance, but give it a certain time with feedback and kind of a follow-up. I wish you luck with that, but you seem to already know that there is no trust, so just verify and try to part ways. Good luck to you.